Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are getting started on the BS Limiting Belief series. I am going to start with number one here. I am too young. So if you clicked on this video, this may be something that you are struggling with. And I started here because I would say for a majority of my career, this would be the one I struggled with the most. I was always eager and ambitious and usually the youngest in groups of professionals. So you look around and there's all these amazing individuals that have been in their careers for so many years. It's easy to feel young because you are. It's easy to feel like you're not being taken serious and be insecure about it. So, as I mentioned, I did struggle with this one. I was the youngest in the groups until I started to realize that they all respected me. They were all kind. They all seemed to take me pretty seriously. So I looked inside, I'm like, well, if they don't seem to have a problem with my age and they hired me, knowing I have the experience to do the job or they're willing to train me, maybe this is a personal insecurity, which it was because I was young and I was insecure about it. It's not always easy being the youngest in groups. And at that age, I think one of the primary motives is to prove yourself and build your career. So naturally, the insecurity is, I'm too young. I don't know enough. Everybody's judging me. Oh my goodness. That really didn't change until I looked around, like I said, and noticed that they didn't really seem to care about my age. And the fact was, I did a good job. I always worked really hard. I got promotions. So what's the problem here, Tracy? If I was really too young or too inexperienced, not enough knowledge, those kind of all work together, they wouldn't have hired me. And if my age and my lack of knowledge or whatever it was a problem, they'd probably replace me with somebody else. So as I went on throughout the years, and you do get a little bit older, I realized that was just my insecurity. And I was projecting it out onto everybody else. At the end of the day, they didn't care. I got the job done. I was eager and willing. I didn't overcompensate and try and act like I knew it all, which often sends people in the opposite direction. So I really focused in and realized that, like every single limiting belief we have, it's an inside job. It's an insecurity. It's not actually reality. It's not fact. It was my opinion about who I was and how I was operating in the world. So I quickly realized that rather than focus on my age, why don't I focus on being the best in that job, showing up, being motivated? Those are things that sometimes people double your age lack. The hunger, you lack it as you get older, just naturally, right? So why don't I focus on being the best that I am, and age be damned, pardon my language, but at the end of the day, that's where I got to. And really, as I got older in my career in the last couple years, I'm in technology. I own a media company. I've built two of the largest media organizations in their industry. As I got older, I now look around at networking events and go, I'm too old. So you never win. And don't forget, it's not fact. Realize that. It's not fact. It is your state of mind and your insecurity and what you're bringing to the table. So instead of focusing on that, stop, realize that you're operating in a limiting belief, drop that belief by realizing where it's coming from and digging into the fact that it isn't fact, it's opinion, and then roll forward knowing that as long as you use your youth, your hunger to be keen and be the best that you can be, age isn't going to be a factor. And one thing I want to add on to this is age probably back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago would have been a big deal because of the way the world was set up. It was corporate, there was no internet, you started in very clerical positions, very worker positions, and you had to work your way up, if you were lucky, to management, to VP level, to president. There was not a lot of opportunity. So age did matter. Naturally, back then, age corresponded with education, with experience, and those were the things you needed to get promoted in life. We don't live in that world anymore. And the school systems, even university, doesn't correctly train us for the world we live in. They're still training us, teaching us like we're in the industrial age. And the fact of the matter is, if you want to live the life of your dreams, be a millionaire, build wealth, build your dream life, there are more millionaires now than there ever have been because of the internet. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's always been a young person's opportunity. There are kids, and I don't recommend this, but there are kids that come right out of high school. Some drop out of high school, start e-commerce websites, and make millions of dollars. Age is no longer a factor. Like I said, 30 years ago, I think that may have been more legitimate of a concern because you are insecure. You were at the bottom of the totem pole. Now, the world we live in, age is not a factor. It's equal opportunity. And I'm going to use a cheesy expression. The younger you are, the more the world is your oyster. You're young, ambitious, you have drive, and you have time to figure it out. Because often it doesn't happen that quick where you reach your dreams, make millions right away. It takes time and learning and bumping up against mistakes, learning, and taking the steps to achieve success. It's usually not here, try, and then you reach the goal. It's really a journey. So if you are young, don't let that hold you back. Realize that's an inside state of mind and it's your insecurity because you are young. But flip that and realize that your youth is power. The world truly is your oyster. So do not let age hold you back. You are not too young. You're the perfect age. You're at the perfect spot. Thanks, guys.